I now call the November 18th, 2020 Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting to order. Item 3, public comment. Citizens who desire to address the board with regard to matters on the agenda will be read and or received at this time. Members of the public desiring to make comments during this portion of the meeting will be allowed to submit their written comments to the office of the city secretary. Written emailed comments must be received by 3 p.m. Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. The City of Sugar Land reserves the right to remove any written emailed comments deemed inappropriate and or not related to matters posted on the agenda. Comments or discussion by the board will only be made at the time the subject is scheduled for consideration. Were there any public comments submitted?
No, sir.
If there were no public comments, we will we'll move forward. Item 4A, consideration of and action on the minutes of the October 21st, 2020 meeting. Does anyone have any corrections?
No.
Not hearing or seeing any. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion from Ms. Lindsay. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
Yes.
We will roll call for votes. So if you when you hear your name, Mr. Preveda.
Yes.
Okay. I just lost my screen. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I'm having connection problems. I will continue. I guess I didn't hear Miss Lindsay. Can I get your vote, Miss Lindsay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Morden.
Yes.
All right, great. Miss Peterson.
Yes.
Awesome. Mr. LaRocca votes yes as well. The minutes are approved. Moving forward, item 5A, public hearing. Receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on a proposed special exception to the rear yard setback for 1218 Whisper Trace Lane, Lot 29, Block 2, New Territory Parcel SP-2 in the interim standard single-family residential R1I district. Ms. Waller.
Good evening. So this first area is going to be in New Territory. So it is, as you can see, it's just off of New Territory, back inside this little development here. So that parcel is parcel SP-2. It was platted in 1995 and annexed in 2017 as part of the New Territory Greatwood annexation. And they're proposing a porte-cochere that attaches the rear of their home to the front of their garage. Next slide. So the recorded plat did establish an 8-foot rear utility easement, but R1I requires 15 foot. The existing garage is approximately 8 feet 4 inches from the rear property line, and the garage is currently connected via a breezeway. However, they are going to be expanding that breezeway to a proposed porte-cochere above the front of their garage, and it does tie into the existing breezeway as well as the rear of the home. So the special exception would allow the porte-cochere to be built as proposed. Next slide. Here you can see a little site plan. They are demolishing that breezeway and putting in a new one that does tie into the porte-cochere. So you can see at the rear, there is, that says 8.3 feet, which is approximately 4 inches. And the garage there is 17 feet 9 inches from the house, so it would meet the separation requirement. However, this new tie-in does qualify it as attached now. Next slide. Here you can see the exterior elevations, new composition, single shingles to match, and new trim and post painted to blend in. Next slide. This is a Google excerpt showing approximately where the porte-cochere would be. So you can see here, there's a large gap between that the existing garage and the house. So this porte-cochere would completely cover the driveway in front of that garage towards the house. Next slide. The aerial analysis found it to be fairly compatible with the neighborhood. There are approximately 8 nearby homes that don't meet the required setback. And there are 2 approved special exceptions in the new territory area in general. And you can see one here on the map in the upper left corner. Next slide. This does meet the first 3 criteria. As to the fourth, there are no apparent issues with public welfare. Next slide. Public hearing requirements were all met. The HOA was notified. An online form was also available. We did receive one inquiry by phone, just fairly general, asking what exactly a special exception was. And we did get one comment that was submitted via the online form. We can provide that to you if you would like. However, it was received after the staff report, so it's not in your packet right now. The comment was that they believe the special exception should be approved, so it was in support. Staff is not aware of any opposition. Next slide. So staff does recommend approval of the special exception, and we'll be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing. We also do have the contractor and property owners for any questions as well. You're muted, Josh.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. At this time, we will open the public hearing. I know you mentioned that the contractor and the applicant are on the line. Do they wish to speak?
I don't believe so. Just here for questions if you have them.
Okay, perfect. Is there anyone else present that desires to speak at this public hearing? Not hearing or seeing any. I will close the public hearing and we'll move forward on consideration of and action on a proposed special exception to the rear yard setback for 1218 Whisper Trace Lane, Lot 29, Block 2, New Territory Parcel SP-2 in the interim standard single family residential R1I district. At this time, we will go through the criteria as a board. The first criteria, the latest recorded plat of the property was approved prior to being annexed into the city. The plat was recorded in 1995. The property was annexed in 2017. We in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Second criteria, the latest recorded plat or other recorded restriction for the property establishes a setback or other regulation that results in a setback that is less restrictive than the setback required by the City of Sugar Land Development Code. Just as information, the recorded plat establishes an 8-foot rear yard setback utility easement. The interim R1I district requires a setback of not less than 15 feet for primary structures. We in agreement with this criteria?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Third criteria, granting the special exception will not establish a setback that is less restrictive than the setback established by the latest approved plat or other recorded restriction. The recorded plat for 1218 Whisper Trace Lane in New Territory Parcel SP-2 established an 8-foot rear yard setback utility easement adjacent to the rear property line. The applicant is not proposing to encroach on the 8-foot rear yard setback utility easement. So the special exception will not grant a setback that is less restrictive than the setback established on the plat. Are we in agreement with this criteria?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. And the fourth criteria, granting the special exception will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in the district or neighborhood in which the property is located. Any comments, concerns, issues with this fourth criteria?
No.
Okay, not hearing any. Does the board have any questions at this point for Ms. Waller or the applicant?
No.
Okay. If there's no questions at the moment, we will move forward. We've obviously gone through the 4 criteria, and we'll move forward with 3 key aspects that staff has examined. First one, public safety review. There does not appear to be any public safety issues or concerns associated with this request. The second aspect was the proposal and as it relates to the neighborhood and the rear yard setback comparison. The proposed porte-cochere addition appears to be compatible with the neighborhood based on an analysis of the surrounding area. There appear to be 8 homes in the area that do not meet the rear setback of 15 feet. There are 2 approved special exceptions, 2 approved similar special exceptions in the new territory area. And the proposed addition is in compliance with the recorded plat and restrictions. And the third aspect that staff examined as it relates to the proposal in the neighborhood related to architectural. The proposed porte-cochere addition appears to be architecturally compatible with the existing single-family residence and neighborhood, and elevations can be included for certainty. We've gone through the criteria. We've looked at the aspects. Are there any lingering questions, comments from the board?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you. Not hearing any. We will move forward. And is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Ms. Lindsay.
I move that the special exception to the rear yard setback requirements in the interim standard single-family residential R1 district for the property located at 1218 Whisper Trace Lane, Lot 29, Block 2, New Territory, Parcel SP-2, be granted with the conditions that the porte-cochere addition to the residence be constructed in accordance with the site plan and elevations attached to the request for the special exception.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, a second from Ms. Peterson. We will do a roll call vote. When you hear a name, please give a yay or nay. Mr. Purveda,
Yay.
Ms. Lindsay,
Yay.
Mr. Morden,
Yay.
Ms. Peterson,
Yay.
and Mr. LaRocca is a yay as well. The special exception is unanimously passed. Thank you. Moving forward to item 5B, public hearing. Receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on a proposed special exception to the rear yard setback for 7914 Mountain Laurel Lane, Lot 39, Block 3, Great Wood Forest, Section 3, in the interim standard single-family residential R1I district. Ms. Waller again. I don't know if we lost her. I don't see her.
I think we did.
Yeah, I don't see her. I don't see her on the scroll bar, so she may have her line
Let me
off.
see. Let me see if I can get a hold of her.
Okay.
She's in the waiting room. She's joining now.
There you are.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome
Not sure what happened there. But so we're going to be talking about Greatwood this time. So another one of the newer annexations. This area was platted in 1994 and annexed in 2017, and they are proposing a patio cover. Next slide. So just a basic overview, the existing garage is approximately 8 feet 3 inches from the rear property line. The recorded plat did establish an 8-foot utility easement, but zoning requires a 15-foot. So the garage is currently connected via a breezeway again, so it's considered accessory. However, the proposed patio cover will attach the home, breezeway, and garage all together. It will all tie in again. So the special exception would allow this patio cover to meet the setback as recorded on the plat. Next slide. So this is a little drawing of the site plan. Along the back, that dashed line is the 8-foot utility easement limits. So the garage is just barely inside that. And the new patio cover does attach the rear of the house to the breezeway and the garage. Next slide. These exterior elevations show that the material will be matching the existing home. Next slide. So this is an arrow pointing to approximately where the patio cover will be constructed. Again, this is at the rear of the home, and it will connect that front corner of the garage to the entire rear of the home. Next slide. In the area, there appears to be about 8 homes that do not meet that rear setback requirement of 15 feet. Again, that's primarily due to a wider than 6-foot connection. So seeing quite a few patio covers that extend off that breezeway. There are also 8 approved special exceptions in the entire Greatwood area, and you can see one there at the bottom center of the map itself. Next slide. This does meet the first 3 criteria, and as to the 4th, staff sees no apparent issues with public welfare. Next slide. Public hearing requirements were all met. A notification posted on the newspaper and online, as well as mailers sent out to property owners within 200 feet and the HOA. An online form was made available, and we did receive 2 inquiries by phone. Staff is not aware of any opposition to this. Next slide. Staff does recommend approval of the patio cover with the condition that it be constructed in accordance with the site plan and elevations. We also, again, have the contractor and owners on the line available for questions. Staff is also available for any questions you might have as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. At this time, we will we'll open the public hearing. I know you mentioned the applicant is on. Is there anyone, do they desire to speak at the public hearing?
I do not believe so. They are just available for questions.
Okay, great. Anyone else on the line that is on to speak at this particular public hearing? Not hearing or seeing any, we will close this public hearing and we'll move forward to consideration of an action on a proposed special exception to the rear yard setback for 7914 Mountain Laurel Lane, Lot 39, Block 3, Greatwood Forest, Section 3, in the interim standard single-family residential R1I district. We'll move forward and the board will discuss the 4 criteria, starting with the first. The latest recorded plat of the property was approved prior to being annexed into the city. The plat was recorded in 1994. The property was annexed in 2007. Are we in agreement with that, board?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Second criteria, the latest recorded plat or other recorded restrictions for the property establishes a setback or other regulation that results in a setback that is less restrictive than the setback required by the City of Sugar Land Development Code. The recorded plat establishes an 8-foot rear yard setback utility easement, and the interim R1I district requires a 15-foot rear yard setback for primary structures. We're in agreement with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Third criteria, granting the special exception will not establish a setback that is less restrictive than the setback established by the latest approved plat or other recorded restriction. Keep in mind that the recorded plat for 7914 Mountain Laurel Lane established an 8-foot rear yard setback utility easement adjacent to the rear property line. The applicant is not proposing to encroach on that utility easement. The special exception will not grant a setback that is less restrictive than the setback established on the plat or other recorded restrictions. Are we in agreement with this third criteria?
Yes.
Okay. Did everybody say yes on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Y'all went at the same time, so it blended together. Fourth criteria, granting the special exception will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in the district or neighborhood in which the property is located. Any questions, concerns, issues with that criteria? If not, are we in agreement with that criteria?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Okay, so we've gone through the 4 criteria. At this time, I will ask the board, is there any questions or comments for Laura or the applicant at this time?
No.
No.
I don't have any as well. So we'll move forward. It's as to this request, it's important to note that staff has examined the proposed special exception for three key aspects. The three aspects: number one is a public safety review. There do not appear to be any public safety issues or concerns associated with this request. We did have a couple inquiries, but nothing to speak of. Second aspect was the proposal as it relates to the neighborhood and the rear yard setback comparison. The proposed patio cover addition appears to be generally compatible with the existing single-family residence. There appear to be 8 homes in the area that do not meet the rear yard setback of 15 feet. Additionally, there are 8 approved special exceptions in the overall Great Wood area. And the proposed addition is in compliance with the recorded plat and latest recorded restrictions. And the final key aspect relates to architectural. The proposed patio cover addition appears to be generally architecturally compatible with the existing single-family residence and the properties in the neighborhood, and the elevations can be included for certainty. So we've gone through the 4 criteria. We've touched on the 3 aspects that staff has examined. Any questions at this point from the board?
No.
No.
Okay, not hearing or seeing any. We'll move forward. And I will. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
I move that the special exception to the rear yard setback requirements in the interim standard single-family residential R1I district for the property located at 7914 Mountain Laurel Lane, Lot 39, Block 3, Great Wood Forest, Section 3, be granted with the conditions that the patio cover addition to the residence be constructed in accordance with the site plan and elevations attached to the request for the special exception.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Morton. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, I have a second from Ms. Peterson. We have a motion and a second. We will do a roll call vote. When you hear your name, please give a yay or a nay. Mr. Perveda,
Yay.
Ms. Lindsay,
Yay.
Mr. Morton,
Yay.
Ms. Peterson,
Yay.
and Mr. LaRocca is a yay as well. And the motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Moving forward to the final item on the agenda, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make motion to adjourn.
Is there a motion? We have a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll do everybody wave. How about that for this one? All right, we have a unanimous to adjourn. And so at this time, the November 18th, 2020 Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Just so,
Thank you.
yeah,
Happy
just so y'all are
Thanksgiving.
aware, we'll probably have a longer than usual meeting next month. We do have 7 cases compared to
Oh.
3. So be prepared for a little bit longer of a meeting.
Got your work cut out for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
Doug will be handling a few of those cases as well.
All right, that sounds good. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Y'all too. Y'all have
You
a good
too.
Thanks,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.